Hi, today we will discuss the topic called SERVQUAL Scale. Before moving to this topic of SERVQUAL Scale, let us understand why the service SERVQUAL Scale is very important in service quality and how does the service quality scale has been evolved. So in this presentation, we will understand the different dimension of service quality, how the service quality dimension is used to measure the service quality output, how the servo scale has been designed, how to measure the servo values, and what are the implications. So, let us start with our servo scale. Now, before moving this, that what is the service quality? The service quality generally, if you talk about their quality may be defined as the good quality, poor quality, excellent service quality. Generally, excellent service quality is defined as a high standard of performance that consistently meet or exceed the customer expectation. So here we are focusing on the meeting customer expectation. Either consistently we are meeting the expectation of customer or maybe we are exceeding the customer expectation. Then only we will tend to consider it is an excellent service quality. Or in other words, you can understand that if you are consistently meeting the expectation of your customer, then you tend to call that you are providing a good service quality. And whenever your service performance is exceeding the customer expectation, then you can consider it as an excellent service. There is a link between service quality and satisfaction. They are interlinked, but there is some difference. You have to understand how these are the linked. If you are providing a good service quality, then obviously your customer are satisfied. They are linked, but there are certain distinction between a service quality and the satisfaction. If you talk about the service quality generally refers to the relatively stable attitude and belief about a firm. Suppose you are buying services, you are having a service from a particular service provider, and over a period of a time, you are having a consistently good service. Good service. They are meeting your expectation, then you will have a very relatively stable attitude and belief that the company is providing a good service quality to you. But mind it, there is a relatively stable attitude. Means if in future they are not able to fulfill or meet your expectations, then it may happen you will change your attitude and belief, and you may have this thing that you can say earlier the company was providing a very good service quality, but now their service quality is deteriorating. Therefore, keep this thing in mind that yeah, there is a stable attitude and belief about the firm, but it is not fixed, it is not permanent, it is relatively stable. If you talk about satisfaction, satisfaction is an evaluation of single consumption experience. It is a fleeting judgment and a direct and immediate response to that particular experience. So it means the satisfaction is moreover the transactional in nature. Means for every transaction you are going to evaluate your experience, your judgment about that particular services, and then you say that whether you are satisfied for that particular transaction or not, while your service quality is relatively a stable attitude. Fine, though both are linked. Now the question comes, how can we measure the service quality? Is there any parameter on which the service quality is being measured? So this is known as a rater model, the service quality dimension, and here I am talking about the latest one. And in my earlier in my next part of the presentation, I will discuss that what are the different dimension other than these five dimension, which has been now curtailed down to the five one. So this can be understood as a rater model, which was earlier proposed by Jeetmal, Berry, and Parusuraman. And these are namely as a tangibility, assurance, responsiveness, reliability, and empathy. Fine. So these are the five dimensions, five broader area on which any services is being measured. When you talk about the tangibility, it is basically the appearance of the physical element. And this plays a very important role in my services, my dear students, since services are totally intangible in nature. So, but at the same time, we try to find out some tangible cues so that we are able to evaluate, so that we are able to measure the transaction, and then we can label ourselves whether we are satisfied, whether we are dissatisfied, and then we can also measure the service quality. The second dimension is the reliability, that is dependable and accurate information. How accurate information is being provided by the service provider is the part of the reliability dimension. And later on, I am going to discuss what are the various sub items also. Third comes the assurance, which comprises of the point called competencies, courtesy, credibility, and security of the service provider. The fourth element is the empathy, which include your access, communication, understanding of customer. And the last is the responsiveness, which is the promptness and helpful. How prompt and how helpful the service provider is. And there is a one important aspect, how can you be show your responsiveness toward your customer? So it is said that you should have a heart. Heart means you should hear your customer, you should have empathy towards your customer. In case of any mistake or any shortfall of your service delivery, you should be apologetic and always respond, and whenever necessary take action. So if you have a heart, if you hear your customer, if you have empathy, if you apologize in case of any mistake or shortcoming, you respond and you take action, then it tends to be responsiveness. So, my dear student, if you see that there are five broader dimension is tangibility, reliability, assurance, empathy, and responsiveness. And within assurance, there are the four components, which is competency, courtesy, credibility, and security. Means when they have measured these four items separately, and later on, after doing further research, they found that these four point elements, where the competency, courtesy, credibility, and security, measure some of the aspect that is very important, and it is related with the assurance. And a similar way, when there's access, communication, understanding of customer, these are the different set of questions which are finally measuring the dimension called the empathy. So therefore, we have a five broader dimension on which major all the major services are being measured on these things. And there are a number of additional dimensions which can be added as per the service industry. Now the question comes, what is servo qual? Servo qual has been derived from two words. This is the service and quality. So we have the word called the servo qual. Fine. This is the servo qual means service quality. Now question comes, how to measure the service quality. We have seen the five major dimensions, and in order to measure something abstract, we must have some measurement tool. And in research, such measurement scale, it is known as the measurement scale, and this scale particular is known as the servo scale or maybe servo. So this survey instrument, which is known as the SERVQUAL, which developed by Parasuraman, Jethamal, and Berry in 1985, and later on in 1988, they have further redesigned this scale. Fine, and here we will discuss the latest one that they have come out in year 1988. Fine, and why they have made it? They have made it for assessing service quality across various service settings, be it your bank, be it your insurance firm, be it your education industry. So, but majorly they have worked on the banking. What are the basis? What are the premises on which this SERVQUAL scale work? So it is based on the premises that customer evaluate a service firm service quality by comparing their perception of its service with their own expectation. So here we measure two important elements: their perception, means what kind of service they are getting, or how they are perceiving the service provider vis-a-vis to what are their expectation. Means we are comparing their ideal situation with the actual one. Fine. So there is a basically it is a kind of we find the deviation between their expectation and perception. Now, looking into that, how to measure whether there is a good quality or a poor quality, or maybe it's a exceptionally good quality or excellent quality. So let us understand one equation basically. So customer always evaluate the services by comparing their perception with the service with their own expectation. So if you find that if their perceived service is equals to their expectation one, then as far as the quality is concerned, you will say the quality is good or maybe okay, and you tends to be a satisfied one, because whatever your expectation, the service provider has matched it, so therefore you will consider it a good quality. If your expectation is high and whatever you are getting is less, then you tend to say it's a poor quality, and poor quality will always lead to dissatisfaction. When your perceived service quality is higher than the expectation, means whatever you have expected, you are getting much more than your expectation, then you tend to call that is exceptionally good quality, and then a customer is regarded as a delight one, right? So if you will use these equation in perceived service, your perception and expectation, you will have a uh, three outcome basically. It may be a good quality, a poor quality, or exceptionally good quality. And please mind this thing, my dear student, that in order to have a high exceptionally good quality service, there should be unexpectedly high performance, there should be some arousal of feeling, and it should have a positive effect in your body or emotion. Fine, then only you will say that it is a delighted. Let us understand with an example. Suppose you are very hungry and you visited a McD and you have found the burger, and this has satiated your hunger, and then you say, oh yeah, whatever I have expected, that having a burger will satiate my hunger, and it has satiated your hunger, then you say its quality is good. But suppose you find that it is not going to satiate your, but it is going you give some bad taste, or maybe the aroma is not good that you're not expecting, or maybe there is a delay in the delivery, maybe you're not getting the ambience there like this, then you will say that no, the quality is poor, because what I was expecting I was not getting that. And suppose you are getting everything, that you find that there should be good sitting place, but you got a window seat, and then you want that the order should be ready within 10 minutes, you got it within 5 minutes, and let's say there may be some discount offer is going on that time, and then what will happen, you will find there's an unexpectedly high performance. This will give you some surprise, you will be astonished, wow, great. And then this has a positive effect, you will say, "Oh, great, today I loved it, I will come again." So this is how you are going to rate the services. Your customer expectation. Now the question comes, how would you make your expectation, and how does the expectation of people is formed? For expectation, there's two things is very important. One is knowledge, second experience. So one is the knowledge, you have some information that okay, that particular outlet serve the food within 10 minutes, there is a quite good gentry, they have a good ambience, fine. So these are the things that you have a knowledge. And then second part is called as the experience. Experience, the one that you have earlier experience, or maybe the shared experience by the other people. Might be you have heard from different people, oh yeah, I have visited that place, that place is such an awesome place, the service quality is exceptionally very good. Now this information, because the other person has used it, they have their experience, now their experience has given us some benchmark you to create your own expectation. And whenever you will visit to that service premises, you are going to judge their services based on your knowledge and based on your maybe earlier experience, or maybe the experience shared by so many people, right? This is how you are going to create your expectation. Now moving to the SERVQUAL scale, that initially the SERVQUAL scale was consisted on 10 dimensions, that is reliability, responsiveness, competency, access, courtesy, communication, credibility, security, understanding the customer, and tangibles. And later on, they have reduced this to five major quality dimensions that I have already discussed about. It is tangibility or tangibles, the reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. So here we are going to measure the service quality on these five basic or major dimensions. Fine. Now let us understand what is and how they have made and what is the format of that particular scale. So within each dimension of these five broad dimension, several items are measured. Servocall has total 21 statement or item under this five dimension. Fine. For tangibles, we have four items. Here, items refers to the statement of questions. Reliability has four items. Responsiveness has four items. Assurance four items, and empathy has five items. And these statements are accompanied by a 7-point scale, 7-point Likert scale, which is ranging from 1 marks is given or a 1 point is marked for a strongly disagree statement and 7 for the highest, which is the strongly agree. So every question is mean all 21 questions is being rated in 7-point scale from 1 to 7. The statement accompanied by the 7-point ranging from strongly disagree 1 and strongly to 1. And there are two sets of questionnaire on the 5 dimension for expectation and perception is asked. And their difference is measured to find the deviation to measure the service quality. So it means you have a two set of questionnaire. One questionnaire is, one set of 21 question is to measure their expectation, and that another set of 21 question is to measure their perception about your service premises. Fine. One is the ideal, is the expected. What do you expect and what exactly you are getting from your own service provider? And then there we have to find the difference. We make the average and then we subtract the expectation and perception and then we get the point. And this will help us to understand on which service dimension the company is falling short of. Fine. Where there is some sort of or scope of improvement, where the company is not able to deliver the right service quality. Fine, that we will measure. So let us have a look on the kind of a questionnaire, question items in the SERVQUAL scale. I have elaborated all the 21 question on their expectation, and the one slide that is only as an example from all these 5 dimensions. One question item is given to make you understand how to frame the same question in the to measure their their perception about the service provider. So let us understand. So these are the dimension. These are the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the first tangibility has this 4 questions, which are namely as your, for example, here the example is taken for the bank. Suppose you want to measure the service quality of a particular bank. So how would you ask the question? What should be the format of your questionnaire? So for tangibility, you will ask the question like, excellent bank will have a modern looking equipment. And suppose the customer, the respondent believe that the excellent bank must have a modern looking equipment. So he will mark 7. And he is free to mark from 1 to 7. But usually every individual has a high expectation. The physical facilities at excellent bank will be visually appealing. Employees at excellent bank will be neat in appearance. Material associated with the service will be visually appealing in the excellent bank. Now, these 4 questions are pertaining to measuring the expectation of the services. What do the people expect? And now we will convert these 4 questions into their to measure their perception, and we will only change the language of that particular statement. Excellent bank will have a modern looking equipment. Your bank have a modern looking equipment. What is your perception? What do you feel? That do you feel that yes, your bank have a modern looking equipment? If you consider, if you think it has, you totally disagree or highly agree, then you will give 7. In between you can make. And for example, let us understand for this particular question item, your expectation is 7 and you feel that your bank have a modern looking equipment and you agree to statement, let's say by 5. So what is the difference? You are expecting is 7, you are getting is 5, so there is a gap of 2. It's mean your bank has to work on their equipment. Fine. I will not go by one question, because finally we have to take the score of these four questions together for the tangibility. The physical facility as excellent bank will be visually appealing. What is your expectation? And does the physical facility as your bank is visually appealing? Yes, no, from 1 to 7. Employees a excellent bank will be neat in appearance. Employees at your bank is neat in appearance, again 1 to 7. Material associated with the service will be visually appealing in the excellent bank. So these are the four questions. Then the question for reliability. When excellent bank promise to do something by certain time, they will do so. Excellent bank will perform the service right the first time. Excellent bank will provide their services at the time they promise to do so. Excellent bank will insist on error-free record. So there is a four question that we are going to have. In a similar way, so we have another four set of question for responsiveness. Employee of excellent bank will tell customer exactly when service will be performed. Employees of excellent bank will give a prompt service to customer. Employees of excellent bank will always be willing to help customer. Employees of excellent bank will never be too busy to respond to customer requests. It means how helpful they are, how prompt they are in their services, responsiveness. Coming to the assurance, the behavior of employee of excellent will instill confidence in customer. The customer of excellent banks will be feel safe in their transaction. Employees of excellent bank will be consistently courteous with the customer. Employees of excellent bank will have a knowledge to answer customer questions. This is about assurance. And coming to the last dimension, that is the empathy. That is the excellent bank will give customer individual attention. Excellent bank will have operating hours convenient to all the customers. Excellent bank will have employees who give customer personal attention. The employees of excellent bank will understand the specific need of their customer. An excellent bank have their best interest at heart. So these are the 21 questions, which ranges from 5 dimensions, and this has been measured in the 7-point Likert scale. And for example, if you want to measure their perception, there is only one item from each dimension I have taken as an example. For tangibility, you have to mold your question like this. Your bank have a modern looking equipment. Your bank performed the service right the first time. For responsiveness, your bank gave prompt services to customer. For assurance, you feel safe in your transaction at your bank. As far as empathy, your bank have your best interest at your heart. So what you are doing in a first part of the 21 question, you are just reflecting your expectation toward the service quality of that particular service provider. And in the second part of 21 question, you are reflecting, you are giving response or feedback on the perception of your service experience. And when we are going to check the differences, we will come to know in which dimension that the service provider had to work, or it will help to understand on which dimension your competitor is very good, who has your competitor has a competitive advantage. Fine. So there is a usage it used to determine the average gap between customer expectation and perception. It helps to assess the overall service quality by evaluating these 5 dimensions. If you are going to sum up all the 21 items, you will find out the overall service quality. If you are going to see only the 4 questions from tangibility, 4 from responsiveness, 4 from assurance, responsiveness, and empathy, then you will come to the different dimension as well to compare with that of your competitor, to track the expectation and perception of the customer as well as. It has been widely used in its generic form that I have shown you, the 21 question, but it can be modified, or rather it is modified as per the specific industry and context to provide more insight, such as for education, it is a EduCall in order to measure the service quality of a restaurant. So DynaCall is there in order to measure some online service quality. There is a eServQual, and it has a wide range of use. So If we'll use the servo quality scale or the servo quality scale in a true spirit to measure the what kind of services you are providing, in which dimension you are very good at it, or what are your dimension in which you have to work upon, then you are able to improve your service quality, and you will definitely give a good service experience to your customer. So with this, I'm Dr. Latwal, signing off until I meet again.